Hi, I'm Kirsten Higgins. I'm a certified yoga therapist and the co-owner of Infinity Therapeutic Yoga in Chicago. Therapeutic yoga is simply yoga for a specific condition, such as yoga to manage pain or yoga to help with anxiety, or even yoga to help expedite the healing of an injury. This is a simple yoga sequence that just about anyone can do to help with neck pain, upper back pain, or low back pain. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Yoga should not hurt. Most of us are seated at a computer or hunched over a phone, so this video is most likely perfect for you. Even if you are at your office, you still can do yoga without looking too weird doing it. In this video, I will even use an office chair to demonstrate. Please be sure to check with your doctor to make sure that a yoga program is safe for you. Hope this video is helpful. Thanks so much for watching. To begin, sit forward on your office chair and push a little bit away from your desk so you have space in front of you. You want to lower your seat probably so that your feet can be firmly planted on the floor. If you're a little taller, you might not need to do that. But equal weight on each of your sitting bones. Notice if you have the tendency to lean into one side or the other, and have both feet equally pressing into the floor. And find good posture in your chair. Lengthen up your entire spine, reaching the crown of the head up to the ceiling, lifting the chest and relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. You also just slightly retract the chin in so that the back of the neck can be long and the center of your skull is right over the center of the heart and the center of the pelvis. Everything's stacked. Okay. And we'll start with a breathing exercise. Exhale all the air out of your lungs. Empty completely. And then inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Count to yourself. And then purse your lips as you exhale. 8 count exhalation. And inhale for 4 counts. And an exhale through pursed lips for 8 counts. Try just one more of those on your own. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And we'll start with spinal flexion and extension. Really simple. We may know it as a cat-cow movement if we've ever taken a yoga class before. So I like to start by rounding, and you can slide your hands up to your kneecaps and draw the heart and the belly button back towards your spine, back towards the back of the chair. And you'll slide the hands forward and extend the spine. Your hands might come right into the creases of your hips, the elbows point back, you'll lift the chest. Just be careful not to arch too much into the low back. Let most of the opening come from the upper spine, from the shoulders. So we'll move with the breath. We'll exhale, slide the hands forward and round. And inhale, open the chest. And exhaling, rounding. And inhaling, opening. And just one more. And as you exhale, you'll just come to a neutral spine again. All right, and the next movement is a spinal twist. So if you just twist to your right first, you can bring your right arm either to the side of your chair, if you have an arm for your chair, or you can also bring your forearm to the back of your chair. Your left hand can go across to your outer right thigh, or even hold on to the arm. If that feels like too much, you can also place your hand on your knee. But wherever you'd like to hold, doesn't matter. As long as your spine is really tall, we definitely don't want to be rounding the low back here. So we might even have to focus a little bit on this feeling of trying to arch the low back so that we don't round. Our spine is like hockey pucks and jelly donuts, and we don't want to smash the jelly out of our jelly donuts, which is basically the discs in between our vertebrae. So lots of space so that the discs in our spine stay healthy. But if you hold this twist, you can use your breath to get deeper. You'll inhale from your seat up to your crown. Let the breath make you sit taller. And then exhale, turn any amount more to your right. You can take a few breaths like that, just using the inhale to get taller and using the exhale to twist deeper. You can do that for another breath cycle of your own. You can just look slightly over your right shoulder if that feels okay. If it doesn't feel good on your neck, just keep the head neutral. When you're ready, unwind forward with an inhale. And exhale, start the other side. So wherever it feels good to rest your arms so that you feel stable. Open up across both shoulders, both collarbones spreading, the spine tall, the low back long, and you're just using your breath, not force, to go deeper into the twist if it feels good to go deeper. Your inhale helps you lengthen your spine, and your exhale, you ring out, twisting a little bit deeper. Inhaling, sitting taller, and exhaling, maybe just a micro-millimeter twisting a little farther. And just one more breath on your own. With your inhale, you can revolve back around to the front. Nice. And exhale, walk your feet a little bit wider. Your toes can turn out if you'd like. And we're going to take a forward fold from a chair. Anytime we fold, we always want to lift and lengthen. You can have your hands on your legs. You might even bring your hands to your inner ankles. But we'll lift the chest, lengthening on the inhale. And then exhale, slide your hands down anywhere that it feels okay. I'm going to place my hands on my ankles because it feels good for me. And I'm going to use my elbows to guide the knees open so that my knees don't knock in. So we want to be careful that the knees stay in alignment here. And this might feel good for you, or you may even let your head drop and the arms dangle. You can catch opposite elbows, let your chin tuck into your chest, and you can even sway a little bit side to side. Releasing through both your upper back and your low back. Deep breath here, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And walking your hands up your legs, pushing into your thighs to come up. Take an inhale. Great, and then exhale, release. It may even feel good to take a couple shoulder rolls here. Shoulders up by ears and rolling down the back, especially focusing on the muscles of your upper back that draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Like the muscles that we use to unshrug the shoulders and press the shoulders into the back. Good, okay. And we'll walk the feet back in and we'll take a side stretch. We'll do 2 variations and you can pick whichever variation feels good for you. The first one, you can reach the left arm overhead. And if you wish, you can even take your right hand and roll your bicep back. You can take your hand up to your wrist and hold with the right palm up. Okay, if this hurts your shoulder, just hang it in there for the second variation. But we'll lift the left arm up and out of its socket, inhaling, and then exhale, take a little side stretch to your right. We anchor down through the left hip. It tends to want to pop up, but we'll keep pressing it down. Spin your right rib cage up just a little bit, take another inhale, and exhale, soften a little bit into that side bend. Good, and inhale up, and exhale, simply do the other side. So you can roll the bicep back, slide your hand up, the palm faces up, arm lifts up and out of its socket, and we side bend to your left and lean into your right hip. Spinning the chest open, inhaling, and exhaling, maybe go a little deeper into the side stretch. Nice. You can inhale back up, and exhale, take the arms down. You can even do another shoulder roll or two if that feels good. Okay, another variation if it didn't feel good to have the arms overhead, both arms overhead. You can hold on to your chair and might even need to scoot back a little bit. You can hold on to your armrest or sneak your hand back and hold on to the bottom of your chair. So that can help with stability. And you'll reach the left arm up, and you can bend your elbow and hold on to the side of your head. Your fingers are just above your right ear. And you can still roll the chest open, inhaling. And exhale, take that side bend again to your right. We'll just get into slightly different muscles. The intercostal muscles, the muscles in between your rib cage, they're part of the muscles that we use for breathing. So it's nice to stretch those because we can breathe a little easier afterwards. And breathing, inhaling into your upper left lung, and exhaling, just softening, maybe stretching a little deeper. Good, and inhaling up, and exhaling, find the chair on the other side, and your right arm raises up. Bend the elbow, hold on to your head, and again, just side bending. We anchor softly into the right hip. You can roll your chest open, let your head just drop into your hand. Inhaling into your upper right lung, and exhaling, softening into the side bend. Good. Inhaling up, and exhaling, release down. And roll your shoulders back. If you wish, you can interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, and round your upper back. This is for a counter stretch. Spreading your shoulder blades. Imagine you can breathe right in between the space between your shoulder blades. Sending a nice deep breath there. In and out. Good, okay. And then you can release that. Let's take a neck stretch. For this, we'll hold on to the side or the back of our chair with the left hand. And your right hand can just be resting on your lap. You may use it or you may not. A lot of times we hold tension in the muscles on the side of our neck. We always want to be sitting up tall. Sometimes a mistake that we make when we're stretching these muscles is we're rounded forward, which won't really get into the stretch properly. So be sure that you're sitting up tall with good alignment and good posture, and holding on to the chair so that the arm is straight. And you just let all the muscles in your neck relax so that your ear falls to the right shoulder. We don't want to press the ear to the shoulder. Instead, just let it fall to the side. We might feel the stretch all the way down. It may feel like it's originating from behind the ear, traveling down the side of the neck, maybe even into the deltoid, that muscle right at the very cap of your shoulder. We draw the shoulder head, that's this area right at the front of the shoulder back. And just notice what you feel. This might be plenty of sensation. We don't want to overdo it. If you do want to test the waters here, you can bring your right hand up and just place your hand on your head. You don't want to press down, you just want to use the weight of the hand to possibly guide the stretch a little farther. No force, just breathing and let the breath release. Inhaling space into the left side of the neck, and exhaling, just softening. And then you can use your right hand if you like to cup the cheek and guide the head up. This has a little bit of a different feel. And release, and just take a pause to notice if you feel more tense on that side of your neck, a burning sensation, or if it just feels like it's clenched. That means we gave that stretch a little bit too much oomph. And it's really easy to overstretch this area, so enter gently. Let's do the other side. Your right hand holds either the side or the back of the chair. Good posture, shoulder head back, and the left ear just falls to the left shoulder. And just notice where you feel the stretch originate, where it travels, breathing into that line. If If you want to use your left hand, it just softly is placed on your head. Fingertips are just above the ear on the side of the head. Breathing into that long line, breathing space. Exhaling, just softening, and just see where the breath takes it. And your left hand can cup your cheek and guide your head up. Good, and release. This one will stretch the back of the neck and a little bit of the shoulders. So you can wrap your arms around your body like you're giving yourself a hug. Be sure that the entire right arm is on top of the entire left arm. And maybe you can even walk your fingertips around and hold on to the back of your shoulder blade, maybe even the ridge of your shoulder blade. But we sit up tall, we lift the chest and try to spread the shoulder blades with our fingers, with our palms. And then just let the chin drop into the chest. Notice the stretch in the back of the neck. You can experiment with letting the elbows then drop in towards your chest. And even tipping your head gently kind of side to side, but still keeping the chin down and feeling a stretch through the muscles in the back of the neck. Bring the chin to center, still down in towards your chest. Feel the back of the skull lift to breathe more space into that area. You tend to hold a lot of tension here. And exhale completely. Okay, lift the chin gently, open up the arms. Do a little goalpost shape. Inhale. And exhale the other side. Left arm is on top. Walk your fingertips around. Hold on to the scapula. And spreading the shoulder blades apart, feeling a stretch in the upper back and in the shoulders, lifting the sternum, and you can let your chin drop. Just keep breathing, paying attention to where you feel the stretch. You can experiment with letting your elbows drop in towards your chest. Maybe we can let the chin tuck even more as the back of the skull lifts. We're stretching those muscles that attach right up into the back of the skull. We can just let the head roll side to side from ear to shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, noticing where we feel the sensation. You might want to linger in a spot that feels really good. And wherever you're choosing to be with this stretch, just take a full deep breath. One more inhale and a complete exhale. And then as you inhale, just open up the arms into a little goalpost shape. And exhale, release down. Feel free to do another little shoulder roll. Okay. And the next few we'll do standing. So go ahead and, right, so we'll stand up and you'll either walk around to the back of the chair or spin your chair around, whatever is easier. And we'll take a chest expansion, or basically a pec stretch. We get really tight here when we're sitting in a desk all day and our shoulders are rounded forward, typing, so it's really good to open this up. You want to be careful that you're not just moving the stretch into your low back. So just draw your lower abdominals up and in, and make sure that the low back is broad. And reach your hands back and catch the back of your chair. The deeper stretch you would like, you can walk the hands closer and closer together. And you'll squeeze the shoulder blades down and back away from your ears, and just lunge a little bit forward into whichever leg is in front. And just breathing. Making sure that you're not pitching your head forward or rounding through your upper back. Keep the crown of your head reaching up towards the ceiling. We don't do enough of this in our culture. Everything is rounded forward, sitting on a train, typing, carrying groceries, carrying babies maybe even. And we don't do enough of this work opening up the chest and engaging the muscles of the back. So it's really good to work this into your day. All right, and on your next exhalation, you can release it. If you feel like even shaking out your arms or your wrists, you can do that too. and you can face the chair. You'll walk back so that your hips are over your ankles, and hands can even hold on to the back of the chair, or you may even like to turn the palms up, straighten the elbows, and take the stretch there. But we'll basically create like an L shape with our body. Palms down or palms up, whatever feels good to you. If your chair feels like it's kind of wobbly, if it's going to move, you can also place your hands on top of your desk. A desk is usually a pretty good height for something like this. If your hamstrings are tight, that's the muscle in the back of your leg. If that's pulling a lot and it's really intense and you want to bend your knees a little bit, feel free to do that. But we get a nice stretch through the shoulders and the back. And if you want to start getting into your hamstrings a little bit more, if they're tight, you can just practice contracting your quadricep muscles and feeling the hamstrings lengthen as you do that. But wherever you're choosing to be, just breathe. If you even want to sway your hips a little bit side to side, I know it might be a little bit too sassy for office, but maybe if you have your own office, it feels kind of nice to get a stretch through the side of your body, and if your low back tends to get tight, you can feel a stretch in your low back. So probably just if you have your own office, we might want to do something like this. All right, and when you're ready, you can use an inhale to walk towards the chair and stand up, and exhale to roll your shoulders down and back. Cool. We'll turn the chair around or walk around to the front of your chair. Actually, no, I totally lied. We're not going to do that. We're going to stretch our quads first. So stay right where you are, facing the back of the chair. The quads also get really tight when you're sitting at a desk all day. So we'll just stand with good posture facing our chair, shift your weight into your right foot, reach back with your left hand and get your outer left ankle. Try not to lean into your right leg too much or flare your left knee off to the side. Square your hips and your shoulders forward and gently kick your ankle into your hand. So we're using our quad to actually kind of kick back. If you're feeling your low back is tight at all here, you want a little bit more engaging with our core. So low belly draws up and in, the tailbone draws down towards the floor. And just breathe. The quad muscle inserts in the front of your hip bone, and we'll feel it all the way down as it attaches into the center of the kneecap. So it's the length and the whole front of the thigh. Your kneecap points down towards the floor. If you want a deeper stretch, you can even hinge forward a little bit on your standing leg. One more deep breath. Complete exhalation, and just release that carefully. You're spring loaded in that leg. Give the leg a little shake, maybe even a shake with both legs. And go ahead and do the other side. Maybe you feel a nice difference side to side here too. We'll shift the weight to the left foot and reach back with the right hand. Get the outer ankle. Draw the kneecap down towards the floor. Square hips and shoulders forward. Try not to let the right shoulder dip in towards the right hip. Just breathe into the stretch, making sure that you're not going too much sway back or too much into your low back. Your core, your abdominal muscles stay strong. And another deep inhale. And on your exhale, release. Give that leg a shake, both legs a shake. And now we'll spin our chair around or walk to the other side of your chair. If you have armrests on your chair, they can be nice for balance, or you may even want to hold on to a wall or desk, whatever is nearby. Placing your right heel up on your chair and turning your toes up towards the ceiling. We're going to stretch our hamstring. If this is too much, you can also do this right from the floor. So this one you may have probably done or seen before. It's just a basic hamstring stretch, just to give the hamstrings a release. If the knee has been hinged for a while as we're sitting, it just will feel good to move that muscle. So If you can, if it's accessible to you, heel up on the chair, support on your chair or on the wall or on your desk. We can even bend the knee a little bit at first so that we can really lift the tailbone up. Sometimes we don't get an effective stretch in the hamstring because we're rounding our low back and tucking the tailbone under. Instead, you actually want to lift your tailbone up. So again, it's kind of like maybe a sassy move if you have a lot of people behind you at the office, if you have your own desk maybe, or just face your bottom to the wall, but it's really good to stretch this area. So just simple hamstring stretch. You'll inhale, lift your chest and lengthen your spine, and exhale, fold forward. And it's not a downward fold, it's a forward fold, like you're bringing your heart towards your big toe. You can hold on to both sides of the chair, or even walk your hands down onto the base of the chair. And if you want a deeper stretch, you can contract the quadricep muscle so that the hamstring can lengthen. And just breathe, deep breath in, complete exhale, and just slowly walk yourself out. Bend the knees, set the foot on the floor, give the legs a shake. Hopefully there's a little bit of a difference from side to side. Let's do the other side. Left heel up on the chair or on the floor. Same mechanics. We can bend the knee a little bit. We lift the tailbone so we have a nice extension through where the hamstring attaches. Spread the toes. Even if you have shoes on, spread your toes in your shoes. Inhale to create more length to the spine, and exhale to fold. The heart reaches towards the big toe. Feel free to deepen your stretch by walking the hands a little bit lower on the chair, whatever feels good to you. Nice. Again, this is another counter stretch to a lot of the sitting that we may do at work with our knee hinged and our leg doesn't quite get the chance to extend fully. If you feel a little bit of like a twinge or a release in the back of the knee, that may just be one of the ligaments or tendons in your hamstring that also kind of needs to release and stretch. So that's a very normal sensation. You can shake the legs out. All right, so we'll sit down in our chair again for one more stretch for our hips. We'll stretch the glutes. And if you've ever done figure 4 or pigeon pose, if you've done yoga before, it's the same exact stretch, but you can get a very effective stretch just from sitting in a chair if you do it correctly. So we'll start with the right leg crossing over. We'll cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh. And you do want the little bony part of your ankle pretty much digging right into your thigh, and that's how you'll know that you're correct in your alignment. Sometimes we do like a little bit past that, but I promise this is where you want to be. You'll flex the ankle and make sure the inner ankle is extended. All of that alignment is really important to feeling it. You also want to be right on the edge of your chair again, not leaning back in your chair. Even if you have one of those really comfy ergonomic chairs, for this we want to be forward in our chair, sitting upright, and basically in like a seated version of mountain pose. If you've done mountain pose before in yoga, it's proper posture and alignment, but seated. And you'll take your right hand to the inside of your thigh. This little self-adjustment, as simple as it is, I like to tell my students how to adjust themselves or how to manually manipulate themselves, because it's easy to do, and a teacher won't always be there, but hopefully you're always there. So you'll be able to deepen your stretch on your own, just doing very simple things. So sitting upright in your chair, on the edge of your chair, ankle flexed, knee in a right angle. You'll sit up very tall and accentuate the arch in your spine, accentuate your lumbar curve. Inhale, and exhale, lean your heart forward, like you're trying to bring your sternum past your shin. And your right hand is on your right thigh, close to your hip crease, with your fingers facing out. You're gonna press down into your inner thigh skin and roll it out. So that action, helps to externally rotate the hip from deep in the joint of the hip. If you've ever had an adjustment from a yoga teacher, sometimes we do this to our students to really activate the stretch, but you can do it to yourself. The closer you are towards the joint in your hip, the more it will be effective. So if you just want a really nice deep stretch in the back of your hip, which by the way, these muscles, when they're pulling, when they're tight, it tends to cause back pain. So if we have chronic low back pain, this stretch is like, it's money because it's simple and you can do it from your desk chair. And if you hold this for 45 seconds to a minute and a half, you will definitely feel a release in your low back afterwards. So just breathing, always breathing. That's really what makes it yoga. We don't want to hold our breath. Okay, and with an inhale, you can sit upright. And exhale, place your foot on the floor. You may feel like moving the hip joint a little bit, but notice the low back on the right side, the right outer hip and the right side of the low back. There's a relationship there, and when there's a release in the hips, you may even feel a release in your low back. So check it out, and when you're ready, let's go to the other side. Right, with your left ankle crossed over your right thigh, we'll sit up tall. The left hand is on the left inner thigh, close to the crease of your hip. And on your next exhale, you can hinge forward. Your heart or your sternum moves past your shin. And you'll just breathe with this. The manual manipulation is basically telling our hip flexors, those are the muscles in the front of your hip, to chill out and get out of the way. That's just what that little bit of pressure and rolling the muscle off to the side kind of tells the muscle, so that we can feel the stretch in the back of the hip. Sometimes if your hip flexors, that's the muscles in the front of your hip are a little tight, you tend to feel kind of a crampy feeling, or like we can't quite get the stretch where we want it in the back of the hip. So that little trick really helps a lot and makes a seated version of the stretch very effective. Let's just take one more complete breath in and out. And with your next inhale, you can sit upright. And exhale your leg back down on the floor. And if you want to move your legs around like we did last time, feel free to do that. And we already did this one. It's kind of a seated version of a forward fold, just to get a symmetrical stretch for your back and for your hips. So you'll lengthen, make sure you're on the edge of your chair. Inhale. And exhale, hinge forward. You can hold on to opposite elbows or just reach for the floor. If you tend to get low back tension on one side or the other, you'll walk to the opposite side. So if I'm feeling tension in the left side of my low back, I'm going to walk my hands off to the right side. You can also hold onto the ankle of your right side if that feels good. So that diagonal stretch, you'll feel a release down through the side of your body, that big muscle on your back, the lats, all the way down to your low back. And you definitely want to do the other side. So walk through center, stretch off in a diagonal the other way. Just make sure you're breathing. Good. Whenever you feel ready, you can walk through center first and then upright. Take an inhale as you sit up. And exhale, roll your shoulders down away from your ears. Okay. So to finish, you can sit back in that seated version of mountain pose, good posture. Take a moment to reorient yourself back at your desk. If you're scooting back up to your desk and sitting back in front of your monitor, you want to make sure that your monitor is at eye level, that your arms can rest either on your armrests or rest completely up on your desk. We don't want to have to hold our arms wherever we are because that'll create tension in the neck, and we just did some work to release tension, so we don't want to put it back. So sit comfortably, maybe it's scooting back in your chair, and find a comfortable position. Think about where you might want to orient your monitor. Feel free to pause it in order to do that. And whenever you're ready to get started to work again, try this. Rub your palms together. Wait until you feel a little bit of heat between the seams of your hands. And once you feel that little bit of heat, make a cup with each hand and cup it over your eyes. And close your eyes into the darkness of your hands. You can sense the warmth and even maybe almost a cool sensation over the eyes. If your eyes ever get tired when you're looking at a screen, this little break for the eyes can help. If you want to even do it again, I'm going to, with the eyes closed, rub the palms together vigorously enough to create a little heat. And once you feel that heat, make a cup with each hand, cup your eyes. You can even imagine the heat from your hands transferring into your eyes, giving it a little nourishment. And when you're ready, you can let the arms float down. And with yourself grounded and centered, you can enter back into your workday. Thanks for practicing this sequence with me. Namaste.